Happy 2018, my dear!
Yay! And good riddance to 2017 is what I say.
Yeah, and the old Mercury retrograde.
Yeah,
all
that
stuff.
done. It's a clean slate. We get to start over again. Jupiter, the planet of luck and abundance, is in the sign of Scorpio for the majority of the year. And then Saturn, the planet of restriction and delay that has been in Sagittarius, just plaguing Sagittarians, Pisces, Virgos, and Geminis, exits that sign and goes into the sign of Capricorn. So I thought people need to know where there is good news in 2018, which is Jupiter, and where there are restrictions and delays, which is Saturn in Capricorn.
So what you got?
I got it for the sign of Capricorn, which is the sign that we're in. Saturn is in their sign. It is time for, and they are the most responsible of all of the signs of the zodiac. And so for them, getting more responsibility is sort of what they really look forward to. But sometime over the next year, they should get a boatload of responsibility that is associated with achieving a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective. So it's the sort of thing where you've done well professionally, you get what you asked for. I just don't think that they're aware of the amount of responsibility that goes along with it. So it's a good thing for them because they kind of embrace responsibility. For Aquarians, not so much. For Aquarians, this is a good year professionally for Aquarians with Jupiter in their 10th house of career and public standing. If they were ever going to get the corner office, they would get it now. However, what they don't realize is the toll it's going to take on the rest of their life. It's sort of like business is so important, their profession is so important this year, that it will be to the detriment of other things that should be as important to them. So they really need to balance out that work and home thing, because nobody on their deathbed says, geez, I wish I would have spent more time at the office.
True.
For Pisces, this energy is, they have spent the last year recovering from some sort of a trauma, some sort of a wound that they literally retreated to lick their wounds and try and get over it, and that's done. So now they get to come out, much like the Munchkins after the house fell on the Wicked Witch of the West. They can come out and start to have a good time again, and they learn something useful about their world. It's a good time to travel. It's a good time to lay a foundation for professional success that will come in the following year, and it will take the help of their well-placed female friends in a group to help them achieve that objective. For Aries, it's in their 10th house of career and public standing, and they get the opportunity to make a boatload of money, but they get to do it professionally. This is not money falling out of the sky on them. This is actually, they've kind of been laying a predicate for this for the last, 10 years or so, but they get to achieve that, and they'll achieve that through the help of a solid structure. This is not something they do independently. This is something they work within a fairly large group to go ahead and do. For Tauruses, this is really, they have had a rough time the last 2.5 years. They have had incredible demands put on them, and it has really taxed them at the physical level. And they need to know that that's over. That huge, unrelenting responsibility is finally over. And they can spend a little bit of time on them. They can spend a little bit of money on them, because all their money has gone someplace else. So they really get to enjoy the fruits of their own labor. Which
sounds
is
like Miss Pat and all those grandbabies, and now it's time
and
for...
get down to something she can manage.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a really good thing for Tauruses everywhere. For Geminis, this is in their 6th house of work and responsibilities. Work begins to go well for the Gemini. They find out exactly how much work is involved. They achieved something the last 3 years that they were really looking forward to, and this year is when they find out how nothing but hard work it is. So it's gratifying for them. But it's a lot of effort and energy, and it's not even a better job. It's just doing your job to the very best of your ability. And some nagging health matter that they were afraid of dealing with, actually it's not that bad. And they get a much better result this year from it. For Cancers, this is their best year. Jupiter is in their 5th house of love affairs, children, sports, amusements, pleasures, that kind of thing. And they can either create a new life, or they can breathe life into something that is a product, a child of their mind kind of thing. But they need to know there is also a boatload of responsibility that partners are not going to do for you. That whatever it is you create, Cancers, it's going to be your baby, literally and figuratively. So they got to be careful what they do with that. For Leos, this is an interesting year for Leos, because something new comes to light at home that changes things for them. And over this calendar year, Leos are going to want to solidify their home or make it a more solid basis. They may even purchase real estate, even if they're not planning on living there right away, with the idea of maybe downsizing a little bit, decreasing a bit of their responsibilities.
You're reading my mind.
But it's a good thing, because they don't sacrifice quality. They only sacrifice a little bit of quantity, but it's the quality that ends up being something that can sustain them for literally the next 29 years or so. So it's a cool thing for them.
Woohoo!
For Virgos, it is in their 5th house of love affairs, children, sports, amusements, pleasures, and the books say it's not likely to be very amusing or very entertaining. It's a lot of responsibility. It means that, and it may be sometimes taking responsibility for a child, not necessarily your own. I'm thinking I'm going to be a full-time babysitter next year. This is what I just realized as I read this. Because I don't pay attention to it until I get to me.
Yeah.
And so, but they will just have to be more efficient in the way they manage their time in order to do all of that. It's going to be a ton of fun for them. So, for Libras, it is in their 4th house of home, and they are going to be busy clearing out the dead wood at home. They're going to spend the next 3 years kind of trimming up just the dead wood is the right way. Stuff that's outlived its usefulness in their life, kind of shortening their can a bit to something that they can manage. And then it's in their 2nd house of money, so its finances go very, very well for the Libra this year, which is a very cool thing for them. They make more money than they really thought that they could. And then for Scorpio, Jupiter's in their sign. It's their best new start in 12 years. And again, they have to be careful because they are not going to have the amount of time and freedom that they've had this last year. They're going to find that there are more things to do than time in the day to do it. And they have to work within an existing structure rather than trying to create a new structure. And then for Sagittarians, the last sign of the zodiac, they are going to have to be prudent financially. They're going to have to be careful with their finances. They may be cut off from some sort of a custom source of income. They'll find that they can make do with less than what they had, and they also have to find that they can be their own worst enemies, and that they don't need a worst enemy as long as they're alive. So it's a matter of really just making sure that you get what you pay for and not overextending yourself. So that's tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac, and I, for one, am looking forward to 2018.
Well, let's roll with it. See you next week.
Always a pleasure.